Hello. I'm here to review the warm up. Really, it's going to be called example one, but we're going to be drawing a um, supply and demand curve, and that's what the objective is for this day. So if you missed the class, I'm now going to be working through part of this assignment, which is really called example one problem. Okay, so I handed out uh, this piece of paper to the class, to everybody. All right. And you can see that this is the warm up, but what we're going to be doing today is using the back side. Okay. So you're going to be creating something on the back side of this. So this video is going to be working through this example problem. Okay. So if I go to the um, web resource real quick, and I switch over to the third 9 weeks, and I click on this assignment right here, the warm-up change of the marketplace of soccer, and then chapter 8, that'll load up to this page right here, right? So please be mindful that we're doing this marketplace problem example one. Next class period, we'll be working with the warm-up, the change of the marketplace. So once again, I'm asking you, when you get this handout, that you're going to turn it sideways and put it like this. Okay. So the first thing you're going to be doing with this is trying to draw a four different X and Y graphs. Okay. Go ahead and put your name at the top and call this marketplace example one. And so you're doing X and Y, X and Y axis, X and Y axis, and X and Y axis. Okay. All right. And so that's going to start. Then you'll then put a simple X inside each of these charts here. Just do an X. So you have four different little charts here with the X inside. Okay, again, you have your name and you have marketplace example problem number one. And then you're going to be getting into um, writing some sort of letters on it. You can see how I did a P here for price, P here for price. This is the price line. This is the price line. And then it's quantity, Q for quantity. And this is corner one's going to be 0, 0, 0. And then you're going to have a supply and a demand line. S for supply, D for demand. S for supply, D for demand. S for supply, and D for demand. All right. And so then we have to label this on the bottom real quick. So I'm going to pause and label this and say, okay, now we're building something that has oops, upside down. Now we're building that has something that says coffee. Then we have tea. Then we have creamer, and then we have automatic coffee maker. Okay, so if I share the screen again, guys, and I go back to this graph right here, all right, or this page right here, this is what I just created. Okay, so I first had you guys create the four lines. You're building the graph. I then had you guys work to create the X's, put the supply and demand lines in those, right? Then I had you label this. You can see where this is the P line, and I created the P and the quantity, the P and the quantity, all right? And we had the X's and the supply and demand. So you're drawing out this, right? And then I want you to label, okay? I want you to label coffee, tea, creamer, and then automatic coffee maker. So looking at this PowerPoint, here is this example, okay? Um, Coffee crops is a reduction in supply. Tea and coffee are probably substituting for the consumer. So somehow in our society, a made-up society here, that the coffee beans are hard to come by. People say Colombia doesn't export them to the United States. So somehow there is a reduction in coffee. So what happens to the marketplace if there's less coffee? Okay, so I proceed on by saying, assuming that more creamer is used in coffee than tea, then that's usually the case. This is a reduction in the demand for creamer and automatic coffee makers as well as they price and quantity decreases. So I'm now going to go back and discuss what's going on with this. So I'm going to stop the share screening. And so when looking at this first one, dealing with coffee, you'll find that the demand line, okay, for excuse me, the supply line will then now bump to the left, okay, because there's less um demand, there's less supply for coffee. And so you'll then getting a new equilibrium point. And then tea, which is a substitute, you'll find the demand for tea will be more, so you'll have to draw the new demand line to the right there. All right, so the tea is a substitute for coffee. Then getting the creamer is a complementary to coffee. And so what's going to happen is most likely the creamer will be the demand line will shift to the left, and there most likely will be the price and the quantity will go down. And so the automatic coffee maker is going to be similar to the creamer because it's a complementary good to coffee. So what's going to happen as well, it'll probably be the same thing. The demand for buying automatic coffee makers will go left as well because there'd be a diminished. Right. So if I go back to the screen sharing, ladies and gentlemen, so what we're going to be most likely having is a chart that will be writing the new equilibrium point. Right. So the first one, the supply line moved. And then we saw the demand line move on the next one for the better and the worse. Okay. Now we're going to review with these errors. I am now going to review this bottom half of this. So I'm going to stop share screen and I'm coming back and review each one. All right. So I'm asking you write the word demand, supply, equilibrium price, and equilibrium quantity. And you can see these symbols. All right. So by plotting a new supply line, it had no bearings with the current demand line. So the demand for coffee is probably going to stay the same. Okay. But dealing with the supply of coffee goes to the left, and so it's going to go down. Okay, there's going to be less supply. So therefore, the equilibrium price most likely is going to increase. All right, and the equilibrium quantity is going to go down as well. So with this effect of coffee, all right, then we'll have a domino effect on the other part of the marketplace. Okay, so in this case with tea, okay, we're going to see the demand of tea most likely will be increased because more people are going to probably drink coffee than tea then, right? Supply stays the same, okay? For the most part, we didn't read anything about the supply, so that's going to be an equal sign. And then for the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity, they're both are going to increase. You can see that it's going to increase in both areas, okay? And then finally, dealing with the cream or creamer, okay, you'll find that the demand for creamer is going to go down. The supply will stay the same. And then also the equilibrium price and quantity will also go down dealing with the creamer. Like I said before, the automatic coffee maker kind of is the same thing with the creamer because it is a substitute for coffee. And so it also is going to have a negative effect where the demand is going to go down. The supply will most likely stay the same with an equal sign, and the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity will also go down. So that is an overview of what I'm asking students to write on the back side of this warm-up. Okay, this piece of paper right here, ladies and gentlemen, is part of the assignment in module number 4, okay, which you can see it on it, okay? So this was we produced this in class, and now I'm providing you a video. This warm up here would then have students working the baseball game. And I'm hopefully will also be doing that, reviewing that in class, next class period. So thank you so much for a little bit of time overview of this example problem number one.